If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. It looked like, if you go back to the weekend, the NBA Finals, train wreck, disaster. Overall, the NBA playoffs were just a mess. Stanley Cup Final trending that way as well. The U.S. Open saved us. Great drama, awesome theater, excellent 5 hours on Sunday. Now this is completely flipped with the Cup. And I would say most years anyway, the NHL playoffs are better than the NBA playoffs. But now this is saving potentially the entire thing here for the NHL. Because it was 3-0 Florida, and it was vile, it was nasty, and it looked like it was going to be a sweep. Mm-hmm. But now, and Pauly, again, you're a former goalie here, at an elite level.
Sure.
What happened to Bobrovsky? Has he lost it? Where's the level of confidence right now?
He has lost it. And that third goal was ridiculous. The short side shot from McDavid, and why he's not facing the puck and facing the shooter, and he's sideways. It was ridiculous. Put your stick down, too. Come on. Terrible. But as we've said, did they find something at the end of Game 3? They have found something. You know, it's 15 goals in the last 7 periods. They've also got the power play going. This Florida penalty kill was ridiculous, what they were doing going back to the Rangers series. 2 power play goals. You start with the shorthanded goal last night. And it just what happened in Game 4, then to take them out 8-1, and they chase them. It's real now. And the 29 teams have been down 0-3 in the Stanley Cup Final. They're the 4th team to force a Game 6. Wow. But there's a lot there with confidence, lack thereof, or how Edmonton can feel like they're invincible now. And you have the best player in the world. As Messier said, it's Gretzky, Lemieux, Bobby Orr time, what he's doing. 42 points in 23 games. The only player to go 8 points back-to-back Stanley Cup Final games. And the goal, the Perry goal, to set that up, weaving between 2 and 3 Panthers, and then the exquisite pass right on the tape, bang, 4-1. What he's doing now, and just the confidence that team has, knowing that they have the best player in the world, and that he's been a superstar and playing like Gretzky, that they can do this, absolutely. And you know, you mentioned why you're surprised that the price is so low Friday. Again, how can you put up a 5.5 for a total again? We've had 3 straight overs, and no problem, as it explodes in the second period again. So, found the power play. The offense has been great. They score 5 on the road. And it's been done before in hockey. It's been done in the Stanley Cup Final. It can happen. And certainly Florida's got to be questioning themselves. Now, Eddie Olczyk said something great yesterday about that. What saved the Rangers in '94 was that gap and the time off. They got 2 days to regroup after getting blown out in Game 6. You got the ridiculous travel here and the record miles, 2,500 miles. Can they regroup now? But it's, as I said yesterday, and I asked Eddie, that first goal, whoever gets it's going to be enormous. Friday, and it was yesterday. You come out, you're on the power play at home 5 minutes in, and you give up the shorthanded goal.
I got to be honest, that was not a fun flight back last night. You're going all the way from Edmonton.
Oh, it's a tough one. It should have been over, I know.
It's the longest travel, right? You don't want to get back on a plane and play another game. You want to kill this team, right? It's the longest travel in the history of the Cup Final. And you're going from the very top up there, upper left Canada, all the way to down, where you're at in Miami, close to it anyway. And you got to play another game now because you could not finish this team off after you had a 3-0 lead in the series.
Yeah.
How many words were even said on the flight last night?
Well, plus it was already set up. That's how it's supposed to go. You get blown out. They avoid the sweep. Okay, we come back home and we win the cup. We blow you out, just like what Boston did. But Edmonton said no, not tonight. And then they have to hang on for dear life, but up 4-1. And something we discussed all week about the Conn Smythe now, I mean, maybe it's too much of an overcorrection, but you're strong on it that it's over. But for him, McDavid, to go to 7-1 to now minus 140 to win the Conn Smythe, and people are saying it's over. A lot of people agree with you. Call it. Even if they lose, it doesn't matter. He's done enough, and it's Gretzky territory. He already broke his record for assists in the playoffs and 42 points in 23 games. That is only Gretzky and Lemieux to have more points than what he's done.
Let me clarify. I think it's over. If I was voting for the award, he would get my vote. And that doesn't mean, however, that I'm going to. In fact, the Conn Smythe is not even available here in Las Vegas, so I'm not going to make a drive to go bet it. And I'm not recommending to bet it because I don't know how awards voters. You're going to probably still get some sticklers in there that say, it's got to be on a winning team.
Sure, I believe that.
But to me, in my opinion, I think this guy, who's give me a case for a guy in the Panthers now. Bobrovsky, draw a line through him.
I can't do it. No.
Then make a case for Barkov.
No, can't do that either.
Then who is it?
Yep, I know.
It's got to be McDavid.
And it's not the Super Bowl MVP. It's not NBA Finals MVP. This is the whole playoff run. So what I'm saying is there's going to be artifacts and relics who say, got to be a guy, got to win the cup.
And that's why to me it's not worth betting.
And we just
went through how they're going to do it.
Yeah, we just went through this with Tatum, who was 1,100 and didn't win it. So it's happened 5 times. The last guy to do it was Jaguar in 2003. They lost to the Devils in 7 games. He was so dialed in. They were a 7 seed, went to Game 7. In the conference finals, he allowed 1 goal in the series. He got it. But Reggie Leach is the only non-goaltender to win the award in 1976. He had a record 19 goals in the playoffs. Detroit goalie in 66, Glenn Hall, St. Louis goalie in 68, swept. Ron Hextall in 87, Flyers lost to Edmonton in 7 games. So Jaguar, and if memory serves, those totals were 4 or 3.5.
Yeah.
Because it was Jaguar against the Devils, and the Devils didn't exactly play exciting hockey.
No, that's exactly right.
Think about that, how the sport has changed. But Jaguar in 03, Hextall in 87, Glenn Hall in 68, Crozier in 66, Leach in 76, the only non-goaltender to do it. It looks like it's going to be McDavid here. But I cannot make a case for a foot. Now, if they win 2-0 or 3-1, I don't know if that's enough with Bob. Just how bad it's been the last 2.5 games.
Would that be enough for Barkov?
No.
Again, I'll bring up Barkov. The whole talk was, and Gretzky pointed this out himself, he called him the best defensive player since the 80s that he has watched. That's pretty high praise.
Right. But now McDavid has been Superman here.
That's exactly right. And the reason why McDavid was doing nothing was because of Barkov. Well, talk to me about how that's been in the last 2 games. So if you're going to make a case for Barkov, that is completely washed away in games 4 and 5. Just has to be.
Yeah.
So then, again, to your point, it's not just about the Cup final here. It's about the playoffs in totality. Who's been the best player? Connor McDavid, period, end of story. And I hope award voters actually do. And again, what are they going to do if it's 3-0 Florida in Game 6? Probably not give it to the guy. Then they're going to be reaching, and the votes are going to be split, and then good luck if you're betting this stuff.
You're handicapping humans and human emotion. I don't know. The other thing I love is Skinner, 9-0 in Games 4 through 7, which is hilarious. But you mentioned how long that flight is and what they got to be thinking. What's the flight like back to Florida if it goes 7? Like, oh my God, are we going to do this? It was over. We're up 3-0. We're going to win the Stanley Cup. Whoops. What's that flight like back to Florida if Edmonton wins Friday?
My guess is there was some heavy whiskey being poured last night on the flight back with not a lot of talking. That's my guess anyway. So now the number here, many national books has Edmonton $1.25 favorite. Here at Circa and at the Westgate, they're similar. It's $1.17 and $1.18. Not a lot of movement there. The total is 5.5 flat. Do you want to go with the over one more time?
Yes.
Because this is flipped. You were on the unders. Yes. Now it flipped, going over.
I also have the elimination angle, too. Even if Edmonton falls behind or they're losing, it's what Knobloch's going to do. They're going to pull the goalie and he'll stay out. It doesn't matter. Who cares if you lose by 3 goals? What is it? It doesn't matter. Keep the goalie out.
Do you like this angle or no? You can shoot it down. You can give me the Mutombo if you like. We get a high-scoring game in Game 6. It's whatever. It's 5-3 again, 6-2, whatever it is. It goes over the total. Then the hope is for books to put it at a 6, the total in Game 7. Then you come back and play the under.
Yes.
Figuring it's going to be much tighter.
Yeah, and history's on your side with that. Historically, it's always nervy and squeaky bum time.
Might be a good way to play it.
Well, Florida's got to stay out of the box. Because this power play, the last 2 years has been ridiculous.
You don't want to awake a sleeping giant here.
So now they found their game with remember, they had that 1 of 16 stretch in the Vancouver series that carried over to Dallas. Like, what happened? They started out, they were 50% on the power play. And then they went 1 of 16. And then they found it, finally, there wasn't a power play goal till game 5 of that Dallas series, and they got 2. Then it happened again, and now they got 2 with the special teams. Why not? Why won't the special teams decide this one? Mm-hmm. The team that's won the special teams has won 14 straight series. So why won't it happen here? 2 of 5 on the power play, and they get the shorthanded goal. And that game had everything, not to mention the Tkachuk play.
I was going to bring that up here. Isn't that the reason why we fell in love with sports when we were younger? To watch guts like that from a player go 100%. I mean, he did whatever he could to keep that puck out of the empty net. And the heart, the hustle to reach the stick like he did, and that is like it's an inch away, not even an inch away from going in and counting. And then he saves it, does whatever he can, and I think the camera work. We got to go.
No!
All right, Nigel, let's go, buddy. But it's Albania. That's no good.
No, it was Albania.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Guys are taking their shirts off. They're dancing in the aisles. They're taking selfies on the field.
They did it again. Yeah. They scored 22 seconds in. What are we? That just happened.
It did, 10 minutes in.
Man.
10 minutes in.
All right, there you go, Nigel. He sees a lot of goals. Good start.
All right. But the camera work on that shot and the replays, I couldn't get enough of it.
Right. Now, if they come back and then score on that, can you imagine? Or they win the cup like that as a result? No, McDavid just hands it. I mean, he scores right then. But, so good.
I could not. Right. I thought that game was awesome last night.
You're right with the camera work and just to come out of nowhere and just to lay down. Yeah, get that with the stick.
That was good.
Yep.
Loved it.
I'm telling you, though, the belief, right? And it's going to be a Madhouse Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Bulls. Well, we know we have the best player in the world. We'll take our chances.
Yep. Pauly recaps a lot of it from last night and win-lose next.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Connor Brown, first goal, 55-1. Ooh. Short-handed one right away for Edmonton. They were plus 140. With the Edmonton win, road teams have won 47 games in the playoffs. Ties the record set last year. Home ice doesn't mean anything. This is crazy. 47 road wins. MLB favorites 10-5 last night. Portugal in play, plus 850. They come back and win. Turkey, 130 up to 165. They win 3-1. Phoenix, Liberty over. 167.5 up to 171.5. 99-93. The teams combined, they made 33 threes. Phoenix was 15 of 30, and the Liberty were 42%.
Wow.
And the Mercury get the win. And it happened again. Favorites in the College Baseball World Series are 9-0 with the Florida State win. 3 games today. It continues. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. Some kids got an unexpected visitor in Colorado in the backyard playing soccer. Look at the elk coming in. He's passing the ball to him. And sure, you guys want to hang out and play? Okay, I'm down. They throw the ball up to him.
Almost scored.
Yes, right. And he tracks it down, and he gives him the header, and he knocks it back to him. And then at the end, this goes on for like 2 minutes. And then at the end, he starts dancing around with it and playing with a little Ronaldo, and then puts it back, right? It's a nice setup. They got the basketball hoop. They got the soccer net there, the goal. And there they keep throwing it back to him, and the elk's just like, okay, I got you. And he kicks it back to him. Here it is. Here he has some fun with it, right? Little Pele. Look at this. And he's got it. This goes on. The kids are like, imagine. I can't imagine here we go. What the kids are thinking when he starts playing with it, and then they keep throwing the ball back to him, and the elk loves it.
They're too young to recognize how improbable this is.
I know. And the other guy says his buddy's hanging out with him, too. Brought all his friends in the backyard. What a setup. No doubt. And the elk to do that. Awesome. I'd never seen this before, but I'm in. A lot of people said you're doing too much. At the response, it's a crispy chicken Caesar salad on a croissant. No, you gotta try.
Would you try it?
Live dangerously? Sure, absolutely. I love chicken Caesar salad. And then here it's just the big crispy chicken on the croissant and put it down. That's going to be messy. But
you know what the key is to a good
I'd give it a shot.
Caesar salad, right? Something that you hate. Anchovies.
Yeah. Part of that.
Also, anchovies the key to a good pasta sauce. I learned that when I was over in Italy 6 years ago. Locals, they swore by it, and my wife makes it like that now. You'll never go back. Way right. Better.
More than lose some. Panthers 130 up to 165. They kept betting Florida, and Edmund said, not tonight. No celebration. We'll see you Friday. And the bad beats. The Dodgers were 13-1 in play. The Rockies were plus 175. They couldn't even cover the run line, the plus 1.5. 9-4 Colorado. The Dodgers win 11-9.
In regulation.
Yes. They didn't go to extra innings. 13-1 in play. The Dodgers come back and win 11-9.
Is that a high enough number for you to take?
No.
You have arguably, there's no Mookie Betts, but one of the best offenses in baseball playing at Coors Field. I don't think 13-1's high enough still.
Yeah, I would wait till you get a rally going then. But yeah, it escalated quickly. I think it was hit, home run,
grand slam,
pitching change. Yeah. It was yes. And the Padres blew it 3-1 in the ninth and 3-1 in the eighth and 3-2 in the ninth. The Phillies come back and win, and again the pitching gets it done. Next week our NFL betting guide comes out. Can't wait to look at all the staff's predictions, win totals, props. Got to be a VSiN Pro subscriber to get it. $1.99. We're kicking a free month, so it's 13 months, less than 50 cents a day. Getting close to the football season. Promo code FTM to get the betting guide and become a VSiN Pro subscriber. VSiN.com/subscribe now. Use code FTM. Go get it. Go do it. Thanks to the staff. Bobrovsky since the third period of Game 3. 756 save percentage, a 643 goals against. Oh, that'll do it.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Oh, we got some juice here.
No question.
Now win Game 6 and send it to a Game 7.
Yep.
Then it's just, can you imagine how squeaky the bums there?
They'll never hear the end of it.
No, of course.
And if they blow this series, what it would mean for Canada, what it would mean for Edmonton, but you end the Canadian drought going back to 93, and then you would do it in historic fashion, although it was done by the Leafs in 1942. Now, what are the odds? Right, it'd be two Canadian teams to do this, but only the fourth team to be down 0-3 and force a Game 6. You got to believe. You got to believe.
FTM at VSiN.com. We have hit a lot of things today on the show. One of which is shows that you watch until the bitter end, even though you didn't love it. This is a good email from Duran. You brought up Dexter. He says, Dexter, House of Cards.
Yes. Yep. I tuned out when Spacey was off, and obviously he had to be off the show, but that's... I never got back into Billions after Axe left.
Neither
and
did
I loved Billions.
I loved it. The first 4 seasons
I didn't like the Prince character, but now Axe comes back. But that's, I think,
many years in between.
Mike Palm stuck with it the whole way, I believe. Run that by him tomorrow, but that's...
I will tell you that if you've never watched it, the first 4 seasons of Billions is outstanding. Axe and Wags, that duo, Bobby Axelrod is one of my favorite top 5, top 10, 15, whatever characters ever.
We're trying to get Dollar Bill on the show. He's Donald Sterling's right-hand man in the new TV show Clipped about the Sterling affairs. But I love Billions. I thought it was well done. I'm a big fan of Koppelman, who did Rounders.
Sure. Also, he says, most underrated sports movie is Let It Ride. I haven't watched Let It Ride in like 30 years. I got to go back and watch that. That qualifies as one of the best gambling movies, too. Other top sports movies, Happy Gilmore, that counts. Moneyball counts for sure. Rocky, of course.
Yeah.
Dodgeball, can't get there. Good listen till Dodgeball. And he says Kevin Costner's awful.
At what?
For all the legitimate complaints about Yellowstone, Costner is no T. Sheridan. Why should we trust him to tell a 4-part, 12-hour history of the West? He's certainly no Ken Burns. Costner will find a way to whitewash and mansplain the conquering of the American West and its native people. Okay, well, all right, that's his thoughts on it anyway.
Dancing with Wolves was awesome.
Yeah.
I did not get into Yellowstone. I couldn't get into it.
Neither did I.
I couldn't get into it.
First of all,
wasn't a fan.
When you start off with a series and it's an hour and a half and you realize I got to catch up now and I'm 4 seasons behind and every episode's going to be at least an hour, that's tough to commit to that. We also had some news yesterday in the National Football League, and we will preview the Buffalo Bills with Nate Geary coming up in about 7 minutes. But this came out, new guidelines, according to the AP and their senior NFL writer, Rob Maddie, who oversees All-Pro and NFL awards voting. And he wrote on X, the spirit of the AP Comeback Player of the Year award is to honor a player who has demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity by overcoming illness, physical injury, or other circumstances that led him to miss playing time in the previous season. The decision to provide this guidance was made last December but could not be implemented for the 2023 awards because the season was almost completed at the time. That, again, tells me that they wanted to put that into the fine print to try to give the award to DeMar Hamlin.
Oh, no question. Wanted the worst way for him. Yep, and it would have been a great story. And they're also a little perturbed at what happened, that Flacco got it, and a guy that was, he was on his couch, but felt that they got it wrong. Well, same thing with Geno Smith.
That's a better comeback story than Geno Smith, though.
Yes, it is.
Because he's out of the league.
Yes, I will agree. But they are saying no more, and you go back and actually look at the list. It is usually almost every instance case someone has come back from a tough, gruesome, or big-time injury. And here it's when Geno Smith just stunk, and then Flacco out of the league, and whoop, now I'm taking the Browns to the playoffs.
Now, my guess is there will be more to this story in the coming days, and more people will talk about it, more questions will be asked, and more answers will be out there as well. But I'm going to assume then, based on this, when you look at the odds board to win Comeback Player of the Year, okay, Rodgers, Burrow, Cousins, Richardson, Nick Chubb, good candidates. Russell Wilson?
No way.
Don't bet him.
Can't.
Sam Darnold?
Can't.
Off the list. Don't bet him.
Bryce Young, unplayable.
You cannot do Bryce Young. Right? I mean, how it's phrased yesterday, what are they coming back from?
Right. That would be, Canales would get all the credit, as he should. I can't give it all that much to Young, although he put on some weight and looks to be a lot bigger. But that's why the thing about Cleveland was so weird. Both guys got credit. Flacco got the credit, and then Stefanski got the credit because they both won. They won comeback and coach of the year.
Another guy you don't want to bet, in my opinion, then would be Justin Fields.
Yes.
I wonder how voters will look at Tank Dell. What if that offense is as good as we think it can be and he puts up huge numbers? The guy was shot in the offseason. Kind of a big deal. So we will preview the Buffalo Bills up next. Nate Geary covers the team, WGR 550 in Buffalo. Are they winning 10 games this year? 10 plus. The division. Are they definitely a playoff team? We'll ask him coming up.
Game 5 recap. Conn Smythe odds. Bill 80 up early. Game 6 preview with the Stanley Cup. Nigel Seeley on soccer. And Wes Reynolds on the golf. Check it out every day. VSiN.com. Best bets, betting splits, articles, betting guides, and betting tools. Bookmark it. Check it out. Visit it every day. VSiN.com.
All right, a Buffalo Bills preview on tap here as Nate Geary joins the program, covers the team WGR 550 in Buffalo, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Nate, thanks so much for the time today. How are you?
My pleasure. I'm well, and you?
I want to begin with this. Doing well. For, a handful of years now, probably a good, 3-4 years anyway, this team has been power rated as highly as the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been favored occasionally against KC. They've been right there at the top of the AFC odds board. You look at it now in June of 2024, they are behind the Chiefs. They're behind Baltimore and Cincinnati. They are now tied with Houston, and they have the same odds as the Jets. I know some people expect this team to really fall off this year. Do you agree with where they're sitting in terms of the odds board to win the AFC?
I think it's probably a fair spot for them. Listen, they've struggled. They've been hitting their head on the ceiling in the AFC divisional round for the last couple of seasons. Obviously, a few years ago that amazing divisional game against the Chiefs, and the year before that, losing in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. That's really the ceiling that this team has reached as it was currently constructed. And obviously the trade is Stephon Diggs this offseason, and losing what we believe is Micah Hyde to retirement, and Jordan Poyer to the Dolphins, and Mitch Morse they decided to release as well. And I think if you're an outsider or you're an odds maker and you're looking in on this team, you're saying, well, they lost a lot of really key pieces. But I think here in Buffalo, there's this like sort of cautious optimism, right? Because they got younger, they got a little bit faster, and they got Josh Allen still, right? I mean, and that's probably the most important piece for this team. If Josh Allen is healthy, they've got a fighting chance. But listen, I think Houston's a really interesting team. Obviously, a lot of it was made of the Stephon Diggs trade and maybe the best trio of wide receivers in the NFL, and CJ Stroud year 2. Here's my thing with Houston is I think I heard this from Chris Trapasso of CBS Sports talk about the fact that CJ Stroud had the same turnover-worthy percentage. So throws that were considered turnover-worthy as Josh Allen last year, but had only 6 interceptions. So if he continues that way, there will be a regression he will not be as lucky, right? He will throw more interceptions in year 2 if that keeps up. And if you're Josh Allen, yeah, you got to bring that interception number down a little bit, but I think you also want to keep him aggressive. So it's like Houston, I would say it's probably fair for them to be right there with the Bills. The Jets, yeah, I mean, yawn. Let me know when the Jets, win more than June and July. So, for me, the Ravens, their best move is getting an aged, running back. And I guess that should help them, but they lost a lot on defense. And the Kansas City. So, I think for me, they're probably slotted right where they belong. And I think it's probably where they're most comfortable. They're not a team, the way they're built, the culture, where I think that being the front runner, being a top dog was probably an uncomfortable position for them. And I think now where you kind of have that underdog mentality, you don't have to manufacture that, and it's a real thing. I think it's gonna help them as they kind of get ready for the season and into the season and beyond.
Okay, all fair points. So where they lose Davis and Diggs, as you mentioned. So where are you at with Coleman and the new wide receivers, or is it more of they play like they did at the end of last year, and I loved it with the ground and pound and the emphasis on the rushing attack and get Cook going? Or get the tight ends involved? How do you see that playing out?
Well, I definitely see Dalton Kincaid as being this team's tight end 1, and maybe the league's tight end 1 when it's all said and done. I think he is going to be their leading pass catcher. I think he's going to lead in targets, catches, yards, and probably touchdown catches. And then it's kind of like, well, who's behind him? And obviously, Keon Coleman's there, their second-round pick from this year. And listen, I like Keon a lot. I think he's got a lot of really interesting potential in taking over probably what Gabriel Davis's role was last year. That big outside boundary receiver. But I think the guy to me, well, I'll give you 2 names. I think the guy to me is Khalil Shakir, who towards the end of last season, when you were talking about that run that they went on to make the playoffs, Khalil, to me anyways, looked like he had sort of overtaken Stephon Diggs. And in terms of targets, it kind of that bore out as well. But I think to me, the other guy, Curtis Samuel, had his best season with Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator in Carolina a few seasons ago, coming from a Washington team that obviously, wasn't particularly successful and had a lot of other mouths to feed. I think both those guys are probably poised to be your number 2 and your number 3 pass catchers in terms of targets. So a lot will be, figured out over the next couple of weeks and months ahead. They've got Marquez Valdez-Scantling as well, who they signed in free agency. They signed Chase Claypool. And as a Notre Dame fan, I didn't really understand the Chase Claypool signing just based on where he's been in the last 2 years of his career. But he's popped a little bit during mandatory minicamp. So we'll kind of see how the rest of that battle plays out. But to tell you that I think they're going to just become a run-oriented team, they're going to turn around and hand the ball to James Cook and their 4th-round pick from this year, Ray Davis from Kentucky. I'm not sure that's really going to be a reality. This is I think still will be a pass-first offense. I just think it will look different. I think they will rely more on yards after catch, right? I think they want to get the ball in the hands of Khalil Shakir and James Cook and Curtis Samuel and let those guys sort of, cook after the catch. So I think you're going to see more short game, But I also think to me anyways, the vertical game really might come from the middle of the field with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox at the tight end position.
Mm-hmm. All right, very good. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Nate Geary, our guest, Buffalo Bills radio host, WGR 550 in that city. Okay, so they're scheduled to begin. Let's go first 6 weeks here. They're a 7-point favorite at home in week 1 against Arizona. After that, quick turnaround Thursday night at Miami. They get Jacksonville on Monday night, at Baltimore, on Sunday Night Football, at the Texans, at the Jets. That is a very difficult schedule to begin. Let's just pretend for a second that they're 2-4. Is McDermott in trouble at all?
I don't think so. Listen, I mean, obviously the start of last season was tough for them. And then they went on their run, won the division, made the playoffs, and made it to the division round, right? I think that where this franchise was, the owner, Terry Pegula, hiring Sean McDermott and then Brandon Beane has solidified so much, has brought, I think, a level of consistency within the building and the organization. It'd have to really be bad. I mean, they'd have to win 4 games this year. And then maybe he's on the hot seat for the following season. He just signed a contract extension a year and a half ago. This is a team that before Sean McDermott was here and Terry Pegula had the team, it was sort of a laughingstock, right? I mean, they were the Jets. And now they've found this level of respectability, consistency. And I think because of that Sean McDermott has earned, and right or wrong, some fans don't agree with this, but has earned, I think, a very long leash. And, he's going to be one of the longest tenured head coaches in my lifetime here in Buffalo. And I think for a large part of that, he's been incredibly successful. Sure, have they fallen short of their ultimate goal? Yes. But I genuinely think it would have to be terrible. And what's the scenario where the Bills win 4 games, guys? Josh Allen goes down with an injury and then doesn't finish the season. You're not going to look at Sean McDermott and say, we have to fire the coach. The second best quarterback in football didn't play a lot of football this year. That to me is the only way this team loses enough games to even have that conversation about Sean McDermott. So I don't see it. And, some fans might want to see it, but I think for where it stands right now, that Sean McDermott is just about one of the safest coaches in the NFL.
All right, Nate, we have 90 seconds here. Then let's flip it then. If that, I don't think it's not going to be 4 wins unless something would happen to Josh Allen. I would totally agree. So then he stays healthy the whole year, puts up good numbers. What's the end game again? Are we talking 10, 11 wins in your opinion? Are they definitely a playoff team if he stays healthy the whole time? Do they win their division? Overall, what do you think?
I think they can win the division. And I think really where everything's going to start from is on the offensive side of the football is can they be who they've been for the last couple of seasons? And if they can, I think they'll be right there. But I do think this is a three-headed race in the AFC East. I do think they're a playoff team. And at 10, 11 wins, I think 10 wins, 9 wins is the floor for this team. So even with the schedule that you mentioned early on in the season, I still like the Bills to make the playoffs. And I think that they'll probably end up winning the division in week 17 or week 18.
All right. Very good. You can follow Nate on X. He's at Nate Geary Sports, WGR 550 in Buffalo. Thanks so much for the time today. We appreciate that.
My pleasure, fellas. Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
He joined us here on the Progressive Guest Line.
I would disagree with the assessment that if they get off to a slow start and considering they haven't lived up to the hype, that McDermott should be on the hot seat.
Well, I understand the point, too. Just signing the extension. But the rumblings have already been out there about that. Oh,
sure. Plus, it's the people in the analytics community that look at him and just say, what are you doing?
Oh, no doubt.
With some of these decisions. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you've made one conference title game is unacceptable.
Tell you, this might be the year to get on Josh Allen. I've never bet him, I don't think, to win MVP or Offensive Player of the Year. If he carries this team to a playoff spot and maybe a division with lost Diggs, again, what's to really love on offense? Mm-hmm. Maybe in-pocket plays coming up next year on VSiN.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
A lot of juice, a lot of interest. It's getting good. Panthers in regulation. I bet them like the whole world. No good. Edmonton jumps on them 5 minutes in. 2 power play goals, a 4-1 lead, and they hang on and get it done 5-3. And McJesus is now $1.40 to win the Conn Smythe. And this was could have took 11-1. Panthers to win the Cup, minus 130 to win the series. And now Friday night is going to be fantastic theater. And now they're down to 330 with the adjusted series price. Game 6 on Friday night. A couple of leans. The Dodgers, however you want to play it, whether it's team total or he's outs under, the Dodgers should rock Feltner today. And you can say, well, they just came off a game, they scored 11 runs, but his numbers are terrible. He pitched well the last time out, but it's the Dodgers. Whole different ball game. And it's Miller against Feltner, and the Dodgers are $1.90. The total's 11.5 at 540. And to me, until you see a pulse and a turnaround, the Aces are laying 6.5 tonight against the Seattle Storm. I can't. The way they're playing defense and this bad run they're on, Seattle blows them out last meeting by 13. They lose to LA, huge favorite. Minnesota buries them by 14. They beat Phoenix, but they allow 99 points and don't cover. And now the Liberty take them out. They were favored by 3.5 in that game, and they lost at home and allowed 90 points there. The defense has been non-existent. They've lost 4 of 5. They are 500 on the season. To me, they can't be 6.5 tonight.
What do you have for a total?
Can't be. 170, 171?
Okay.
171.5.
Yeah, the Storm's going to be a play.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are recommendations there.
Yesterday with the player props in Major League Baseball, how about this? The teams of the players I bet on, each one, they combined for, I think, 18 runs. The 2 players I bet on, 0 for 9 overall. Freddie Freeman home run, quarter unit, no good. Francisco Lindor, blazing hot going into the game. He was 0 for 5. So those are losers. Here's what I'm adding today, and it's for next week. The NBA draft is a week from tonight. It's a 2-day event now.
Yep.
So I bet this a while back at 13-1. I'm adding more.
This appears to be real. A lot of steam.
We'll see how this goes over the next couple of days. But this is the latest. Draft Express pointed out that the Atlanta Hawks, number 1 pick overall in the draft, they've been unable to bring in Alex Starr for a workout. Alex Starr has been favored to go number 1 for months now. And Donovan Clingan is a real candidate to go number 1 overall. Quote, the Hawks have been unable to bring Alex Starr in for a workout to this point, but the door remains open for that to potentially happen. Clingan appears to be the main rival of the other kid at number 1 overall. 13-1, locked in that. I'm locking in more at 6-1, and then we can maybe maneuver a little bit closer to the draft as well. So Clingan to me worth another bet at this number, NBA draft.
All right, good luck. Getting close. Now, this, again, the off-season is always so good.
I can't, no, is this real?
It's Woj, so yes. Number 1, Siakam signs an extension big time with the Pacers.
Okay.
4 for $190. So Siakam will stay in Indiana. Here's your big boy. After just 1 season, the Detroit Pistons have fired Monty Williams. He has 5 for $65 left on the deal. New president Trajan Langdon will move to make his own coaching hire now. 2-time NBA Coach of the Year, lured to Detroit with an insane offer, a 6-year deal, which, remember, it was talked about when the Lakers were dancing with Hurley. How could you not give him as much money as Monty Williams? But that's how much money Detroit gave Monty Williams, and then they were just a horror show this year, and now they're in a total rebuild, and so one and done. One and done. He's got 5 for $65 left on the deal. He's out.
He points out this was made at the ownership level. So what happened behind the scenes?
What took so long? Also, the season's been over for them since middle of April.
Well, what do you mean, what took so long? To come up with this decision?
Yeah. You were done in the middle of April.
If nothing happened behind the scenes, something happened behind the scenes with Udoka, right? If nothing happened behind the scenes, this is what David Thorpe, who's been on the show, I can see him banging his head against the wall right now. Like, what are you possibly thinking here? First of all, to overreact and give him that much money, and then to overreact again. So you bought high, and you're selling. You did not buy low and sell high. They bought high and sold low on this guy, back-to-back years. That's how you run a bad organization.
14-68. Yikes.
Well, there's going to be more to the story. There's no way they came up with this conclusion that, hey, we were really bad last year, so Monty's got to go. Not 1 year after giving him that much money.
I hope they got someone in place ready to go. I mean, this is bizarre. But
are they going to have somebody in place ready to go? The Lakers still don't have a coach.
The draft is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, it appears it's a done deal with Reddick, but yeah, I mean, with the draft Wednesday, this is bizarre timing. But also, and I know it was weird, and certainly he's a prickly pear and a basket case, but how it played out between him and Ayton, where he benches him in a playoff game and he wouldn't talk about it. There was a lot of people pointing out how bad the job he did and his attitude in some of the comments, which I don't know. You go back, I know he's won the award a couple times, and people thought he did a great job in Phoenix. Well, maybe it just had a lot of talent. I don't know. But certainly people ripped him for the job he did and some of the questionable moves and not helping the young guys get this rebuild going and instill confidence and yada, yada, yada. But in any event, that's 5 for 65 still
I can't
left.
believe that.
To pay him that much money when he's not a Kerr or a Popovich or someone like that. The Hurley I can absolutely understand. If you want to try to steal a Hurley, okay, fine. But
well, I mean,
Monty Williams, all that money.
Hello, we're going to start. Coaches now are going to start being on this level more and more. $20 million for a coach per year is going to be the norm at some point.
Well, everything's going to go up, right?
Yeah,
you're going to get $70 billion TV deal. All that goes up.
Wow,
certainly.
Yeah,
and just how much money look at what the organizations are worth. Look what the franchises are worth.
Yeah, I'd like to know the number of great candidates that are out there anyway for an NBA head coaching job. It can't be a long. I mean, you got to be looking at an assistant, but that's how many times that happened. Darvin Ham was supposed to be an awesome assistant with Milwaukee, like one of the best in the entire NBA. They gave him 2 years in LA. Nope, no good. Bye-bye. Right? You get this kind of stuff all the time. This guy's next in line for a head coaching job. Then he goes to a bad team a lot of times. Like, okay, no, didn't work.
You know what? And I know the Lakers, the people bringing this up, the Riley thing kind of was a fluke. I mean, Riley was an announcer working with Chick Hearn and then just worked his way up and then was on the staff. And then it's like, okay, well, we'll put Riley in there because what happened with Westphal. He was one of the best of all time. But you're not going to land a situation like that every single time. And it was also an ego thing with what happened and a bad chemistry between Magic. And he couldn't do it anymore and went to Dr. Buss and said, that's it.
Right.
And style of play was a big reason. Also, ego with Westphal with what he was doing. Let's change it. No, you got to go Showtime, run and gun. That's what you have to do with Magic. But I keep seeing a lot of that. We think we have Riley here with Reddick. Pat Riley's one of the best coaches of all time. That's a real reach for a guy who's never coached, which...
I know. By the way, so the Siakam thing, they changed that, and Windhorst pointed it out this week.
Yeah.
Teams could start signing free agents as soon as the NBA Finals ended. So you're going to get more and more of this. Like, get ready to fire on futures sooner than ever in the NBA if you see big names going. And again, I would tell you the one game changer, the true game changer out there could be OG Anunoby. He already said he's not going to be blown away by what the Knicks have to offer to him. I would look at that guy where he's going to go. He moves the needle much more for me personally than Paul George.
Don't blow this. It's your shortest odds to win the title since 2001. There's hope. There's momentum. There's excitement. Don't blow this.
You can't.
Keep this group together. I want to see what this group looks like fully with everyone together. Come on.
I saw some stuff out there about OKC.
Oh, really? Oh, what an acquisition that would be.
Oh, that's forget about it. I mean, that would be incredible if they could make a move for him. I love OG. I think the guy is incredible.
Can't deny the numbers.
Yeah.
Look at the team loved him. Look at how well they played when he was out there. Look at the Game 7 debacle. Look what happened in Indiana in Game 6.
What do you think?
He was hurt.
What do you think the attention level is going to be like for Friday night for a hockey game number 6?
Well, the ratings have been fantastic the whole time.
That day of the week.
Stanley Cup, but that's... Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's not...
You got to play it on Friday, though, because you got to... The travel is so...
Saturday would have been big, I know, but it's... You're going to plus all those crazy watch parties, too.
All right, stay tuned. A numbers game is next. You can listen at vsin.com. Good luck tonight.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.